Hello, everyone, and especially the BMS community. Recently, the developers of Benchmark Sims released Update 6 for our wonderful 4.37 version. And with that version came the F-15. Um, and over the subsequent updates, it's come a long way since the beginning a couple years ago. And they're at a point now where there's no further development for 4.37. So everybody's working on 4.38 now. And we don't know when that's going to come out. So I've decided to make a little video for beginner and intermediate folk that are wanting to get into the F-15. So this is a good point to start since we're not projecting to have any more updates anytime soon. So what I want to do is give people kind of a tour of the cockpit. We have the Dash 1, Dash 34 manuals, the RTFMs, read the friendly manual. But I want to kind of give a perspective of what it looks like in the pit rather than the 2D page, you know, the old black and white sort of color photos, and let everyone see what it kind of looks like, what they're going to be expecting to see it in the pit. After that, we're going to do a ramp start, cold and dark, and kind of give you an idea how the flow goes for that right there. I'm planning on doing a second video that's going to showcase some of the avionics and how to use them in conjunction with your HOTAS while you're flying up in the sky. What I'm not really going to do is get into the Link 16 or the BVR, ACM, BFM aspect. There's a wealth and plethora of information on the YouTube or written word as far as how those work. So I don't want to just make another video just copycatting somebody else there. So without further ado, we're going to get into the launcher. This is the launcher for Falcon BMS 4.37. From here, you can pick your theater, make some command line decisions when you hit the launch button on what to start. I like to have the Acme start up in 3D every time without having to flip a switch in the pit. Worry about that. Over here in key mapping, you'll notice this profile. Everybody's used to the F-16. Everybody's got their HOTAS and other peripherals bound properly. And this now includes the F-15, but you can do the same thing here. You don't need to worry about switching profiles when you fly, because if you pick an F-15, it's going to use that profile. If you pick a Viper, it's going to use that one. That being said, under axes, all this stuff is shared. And one particular one you need to worry about when you find the Eagle is the HUD brightness knob. Uh, if you have this bound to an axis for the Viper on the ICP, you have a physical ICP or you have another axis that you use for the brightness, make sure you unassign this when you fly the Eagle because the knob on the HUD panel won't work. The only way I've ever been able to get it work is use a keyboard command for on and off, but you can't adjust the brightness any, so it doesn't really help. So I make sure every time I fly the Eagle to come in here and unassign my axes for the HUD brightness off the ICP that I have. So just make sure you remember that if you do that. But the elevation axis works the same. So from here, we're going to go into the game and we'll start our journey from there. All right. And we found ourselves slap in the middle of day 3 of an Iron Fortress campaign, flying out of Kunsan with the 18th Fighter Squadron of F-15C Eagles. We're going to pick this flight here at 0400. It'll be a bar cap, a seat, a Ramrod 7. And we're going to fly between 4 and 5 here. Now when you're flying the Eagle, on your displays, cursor, the bullseye of your cursor is given in bearing and distance from your currently selected steer point. So what we've learned while flying the Eagle is to place a steer point over bullseye, which I have it drawn out here, north and east. I can see that on the SIT page. Get fired up later. So as I'm flying over here to 4 and 5 for my cap mission, I have 3 selected so that all of my information that I see on my displays will be referenced off of bullseye. So when the AWACS gives me bullseye calls, it'll be relative to the bullseye. So you want to make sure you do that, because it's very confusing if you don't, and you have no idea when your cursors are slewing around and it's not making any sense to you. But just be cognizant of that. Put a steer point, any steer point, over bullseye, and make that your active when you're doing any kind of work. Other than that, it's fairly self-explanatory. So we're going to be flying this package 2174, Ramrod 7-1. Took the seat, did a click dance, data cartridge, com plan, IFF plan, 16. Team and donors aren't working right now, so don't even worry about messing with all that. So RD, Ramrod 7-1, that's correct, and I'm the flight leader. It's good, so we'll save it. Close out there. And now I will see y'all in the pit. And welcome to the ramp. So from here we're going to learn the office. But first of all, we need to make it quiet out here. So we're going to right click on this hotspot and close the canopy. And next thing we need to do is get rid of this palette model so we can get rid of the keyboards. I'm not going to use head tracker for this exercise. I'm going to crane my neck and have to talk at the same time, so use the mouse. We'll swing around. So we're going to start with the left panel, make our way around to the main panel, and finish up on the right panel. So the left panel, we'll start at the back, and I'll go over what is implemented and not go over things that aren't. Make it easier that way. Alright, so first thing we come across is the JTIDS control panel here. This is going to operate your Link 16.
Dragnet 4-1, sunrise.
Let me turn this volume down here, which is located right here. Down. Next thing is your IFF panel right here. And this is your interrogator. And this knob here is what's going to control that. Coming across. Got some cheat notes here, trying to look and read. Back underneath the throttle, so they may move a little bit here. Let's zoom in here for you. This is your twos panel, and that's your tactical electronic warfare system. EW panel. Move it here. This is your exterior lights panel. This is going to be your auxiliary comms, and this is what you'll plug in here is going to be your Victor channel from your briefing, and it's going to be for intra-flight between your flight members. And right here is the volume knob for it. So if you're looking to talk to your guys in your flight, you'll be on the right channel, and make sure you turn your volume up. Forward here. Right in here is the radar control panel. Here, this is going to be all your goodies for your power, your range, elevation scan, azimuth scan. This is your bars. You select 1 bar through 8 bar, and then how wide of a gate you're searching. Your range. This knob over here is going to be selecting the history shown on your the VSD or your radar screen. Let's look at all that later. Moving around here. There's slipway for your air-to-air refueling door. It's here. Taxi lights here. Coming around. Autopilot. And your ILS, or TACAN, I'm sorry. TACAN controls here. Or ILS also. Gear handle. And your alt gear here. Coming around, here's your hook in case you need to stop immediately on the runway, or where that's at. Coming around here to the main panel now. Your fire warning and your extinguisher panel. This big screen here is your VSD, vertical situation display. This is your control panel for it. The only thing working right now is your on-off switch here. Just right below it is your multi-purpose color display. Kind of the same as your MFD and your Viper. So it's got 20 buttons around it. We call them the push buttons here rather than OSBs or OBSs, whichever. Master arm switch. Gotta know where that's at. Selective jettison is all this right here. The little push button once you get it set. Coming around. Straighten things up here. This is your main comms, primary comms, and this is what you're going to select your uniform frequency on. You can also select whether you want to go to guard, manually enter, or use your channels like we normally do. Turn it back down here to the ground. This is the volume knob. This HUD controls is your brightness knob. That's what I was talking about earlier. If this isn't bound to an axis in the Viper, you won't be able to use this other than to turn it on and off with the keyboard. Day and night switch here. Moving around, this is your Acme video recorder. But I've got that selected in the launcher, so I don't have to worry about it. This is your twos panel. The RWR, or your twos display, which includes your RWR. And that'll come on in a little while. Alright, you got your main instruments, airspeed, and Mach indicator. ADI here. Altimeter. Vertical velocity indicator, your clock, HSI, your heading and your course knobs. Over here is an accelerometer, so is your G, positive and negative, and your angle of attack indicator over here. This is your steering mode, so you can select between your nav, tech in, ILS speaking, and all that good stuff. And emergency jettison here. This is this is your master mode selector for air to ground. Your ADI, which is your altitude or attitude, or yeah, attitude director indicator. So this is going to be basically your navigation mode in your HUD. So you'll switch out of it when you go to air. Moving along. This is going to be your instrument cluster, your right and left engines, of course your RPM gauges. And let's see your FTIT, fan turbine inlet temperatures, your fuel flow for each engine, and nozzle position for each engine from 0 to 100% open. Hydraulic pressure, oil pressure, and up here is your caution. Oh, I'm sorry, this is your caution lights. This is going to be your countermeasure display. This will tell you when you're launching flares and chaff. It'll illuminate then. So your control panel, I mean your your caution light panel. Anything that comes on here sets off your master caution light here. You can clear it with a push. So now we're moving along. This is your total fuel. And this is your JFS starter. It's got one or two bottles like the Viper, but we only use JFS 2 like we do in the Viper. So that was going to be a right click when we started it. Never worry about doing one. Oxygen regulator here. Engine control panel. It's here. Your temperature controls. Coming along here. Just go interior lights panel. And your nav control panel here. Hey, initialize your avionics and all that stuff to so the jet knows where it's at. All right, here's your 2's control panel. And it's going to turn your RWR on, your other electronic warfare systems. And last but not least, it's being used so far is your countermeasures control panel here. And just like the Viper, you got the manual, semi, and auto modes. All right. And one last thing here. These are your backup instruments, your airspeed, your ADI, and your altimeter. Up here on your brow, we got some mirrors, and they've got a hot spot. Where's the hot spot? There it is. Oop, there we go. And flip them down or up. Really like to have them up at night because the reflection of the stars and everything else behind you is really confusing. Or the city lights and stuff like that. It's really disorienting to have your mirrors down at night. So the outside here on both sides is your shot lights. So when you have a good shot for your missiles, they'll illuminate. And this light here is your ready light for your air-to-air refuel. And of course, this is your compass. So what we'll do now is I'll jump back in with the head tracker going, and we'll go ahead and start this thing up. So I will see y'all in just a little bit. Okay, so we've reloaded the mission and got head tracking going this time. The first thing we want to do is get comfy in the pit. So let's get rid of all this noise. Right click the hotspot. Close canopy down. Get rid of the pilot model. We don't need that right now. We're going to switch our HUD comms to channel 2 for ground. Set our volume about halfway up is good for now. Gonna rotate the HUD power knob to on. Already set for daytime. Coming over here to set channel 15 aux. And we're going to turn the volume up. You can hear our wingman. I'm going to turn the interior lights on. I always like to give these about 2 bumps. 1, 2, 2. If it's dark outside, you can turn this one on. That's for the floodlights for inside. Right. And we're going to set good there. Checks. Okay. So let's get the engine started. First thing we do, air source to both. I'm going to flip on the starter to on. And we're going to right click the JFS switch. Green light should come on. Right engine. Double click this to close the guard. Turn on the generator. A little bit. And we're going to click the right finger lift here. And in a few seconds you'll see the RPM start to climb. And at 25 RPM, we'll move the throttle into idle. So while we wait, I want to move my throttle through the full range of motion. So it'll wake it up in Windows and BMS. Everybody will be happy. Alright, here we go. .25 RPM. Right idle. F-tip will climb through about 850. Then cool off.
Dragnet 4-1, sunrise.
Getting power. We got comms. And F-tip's coming off. RPM 70. We have hydraulic pressure. And we have oil pressure. And we can clear his master caution. Starter light still on, so let's go with the left engine. Left engine. 2 clicks for the guard, generator. And you gotta squeeze around over here to find the left finger lift right there. Click. Same thing, we're going to climb through about 25% RPM. it's going to settle down. There we go. Left engine idle. And monitor temperature. JFS is off. No green light. There's the temperature up. And falling off quick. Good deal there. And as soon as that settles down, there, we'll stand on the brakes and we'll run it up a little bit. See that we're working right. That's 80%. Looks good. And come off the brakes. And now we'll key over and tell our wingman. Ramrod 1, good start. Alright, so now we've got good engines. We've told our wingman we have good engines. Or your package, or however you're doing. Tell them that you're good to go. So now we're going to start getting our avionics turned on here. Verify that we are ADI mode. The red light there. We're going to right click to zoom in a little bit here. We want to go to present position. Right click. And left click up to gyro compass there. We'll turn on the keypad with this ready button. It illuminates. We'll hit enter. And that's all we need to do right now. After 60 seconds, the ALN button, right, or light, sorry, here will come on, showing it to your aligning. Within about 120 seconds, it should be flashing about once a second. And then when fully aligned, after about, it says, or within 240 seconds, it should be flashing about 4 times a second. It'll be rapidly going, so we'll watch out for that. Alright. Okay. Checking my notes here. So next thing we want to do here is go over here to the radar panel and switch to standby. There. And we're going to turn on our multi-purpose display. One click. And we will turn on our VSD here. And we go ahead and clear this caution lamp. We have no lights. We're good. Okay, so the FCR will now run its bit, and this will take several minutes. So we'll just hang tight with that. Looking down to the left, we want to turn the IFF interrogator to auto, and JTIDs to norm. It's 2 clicks. There. And we will now set our position lights on outside, and I'll go ahead and turn on the strobe. Anti-collision light is good. You notice the HSI did a little something there, so we'll check over here. So now we have our 1 second blink. Good. Going along there. Still running a bit, so let's come over here and turn on our electronic warfare goodies, our 2s panel. That one there. And our RWR and early warning systems there. And RWR comes to life and it'll start talking to us. Yep, there we go. Over to countermeasures. I like to run in semi. So right there. While we wait here, we're going to load our data cartridge. So hit menu button on the situation display. And it'll be DTM right here. And we're going to read. Now sometimes you'll get a failure of these. If you do, just reread it. See, I got a no transfer, so we'll just once it's done, we'll run it again. Alright, our bit test is finished here. We'll reread this here, click it again.
Devil 7-1, request taxi back.
I've seen this thing where I've had to click it 2 or 3 times.
Devil 7-3, request taxi back. Devil 7-1, taxi to the ramp. You're cleared all the way in.
Partial transfer, we gotta do it again.
Devil 7-3, taxi to the ramp. You're cleared all the way in.
Let's turn the volume down on that. I mean, like 90% of the time it goes through the first time, so this is kind of fun. Hey, success. Good. Okay, so back to the menu. And our net entry is fine, so our link 16 is all the way up and going. And we can click on the sit page here. It's set at 8 miles. So if you castle up, if you'll notice the bars become white, that means they're active here. If I hit castle up again, it disappears because that's for the VSD to use it. So we'll use here, we'll travel up here, we'll just bump it up a couple miles or two. So now we're sitting at 30 miles. So we're good there. So let's see what our nav is. Oh, now we're really blinking good now, so we're good to go. So we're going to click over to INS, left click. We're going to click and a line went out. So hit enter to store it and turn the lights off. Everything's good. Got all kinds of data in our sit page. Come over here now and we hit turn on the radar to operate. Still have weight on wheels, so I'm not going to be able to do much now. Things to do now is go ahead and turn your oxygen regulator on. We want to check our speed brakes, so it's fully extended. Speed brake light is on, and we'll close it. Light is out. So much better than the Viper with the little checkerboard that you can't see. And open our slipway for air-to-air refueling. And the door is open. And ready on the brow light is illuminated. Let's close it. There we go. And turn on our taxi light. There. Underneath the throttle is your trim. So if you click this, that'll drop your flaps, get you a green lamp. Close your flaps. Light goes out. Easy breezy. So let's see which way the runway heading is today here at Kunsan. We're out here at the south loop, maybe? Let's see. Go to satellite view. Yep. South loop, so we're going to travel that way to take off. Right. Request QNH.
Ramrod 71, Kunasan, due page 2973.
2973 QNH. There. Request takeoff runway.
Ramrod 71, Kunasan, runway 18 for takeoff.
So we'll turn it, our HSI to 180. Takes a little bit here. Almost there. There we go.
Jaguar 71, contact tower for takeoff. Switch to 9230.
Okay, and now we are 5 minutes till takeoff, so let's go ahead and taxi out. Ramrod, Goots on ground. Request taxi for departure.
Good afternoon, Ramrod 7. You are number 2 for departure. Taxi, Charlie, Papa, Echo, and then hold short, runway 18.
Remove chocks. Alright. Get out from under here. And tap the brakes. Set there. And we want to set our ejection seat handle. We are now armed. We've cleared the hangar. So here we go. Well, I hope you found this little tutorial a benefit to you. Learning how to fly the Eagle, it's been a lot of fun. It's really, really fast, and it goes really, really high. And you carry a lot of missiles with you, so it's a good time to have with some buddies in multiplayer, covering some Vipers that are down low. They're trying to run off the runway,
Control
taking off.
1, taxi, Charlie, Papa, Echo, and then hold short, runway 18.
So, yeah. Turn it off here. So yeah, just let me know what you like. What can we do better? So just jump in the pit and get up there and enjoy the view. And I hope you enjoy Falcon BMS as much as I have. Thanks a lot, guys.